Hey everybody, this is Brad Bruce and I am here with
Jace Marsiglia.
and you're listening to the 5195 podcast.
You are. And it's spooky. Happy Halloween, Brad.
Happy Halloween, my friend.
Favorite fucking time of the year.
It is.
It really is.
Yes.
We've enjoyed several Halloweens together now.
We have.
And I think what started as, what are we doing? Like spooky stories, it kind of twisted off into Tales from the Fog. It's its own thing, which could be any night.
Yeah.
But we had talked a long time ago, and I mean, we're talking like back in the garage days, about doing one about Halloween lore and just where the whole holiday came from and some of the practices that we still do today or don't, sadly. Yeah. But I don't know if it spawned off of you buying that book or us talking about that book.
Right.
But it was one of those deals where it was like, yeah, maybe we should do a little bit of a deep dive.
Yeah.
And see what we can discover. And I'll be completely honest with you, for everything that I thought I knew, I had to back that ass up and say, oh, maybe I didn't know this or I didn't know that.
Right.
And Halloween is fucking fascinating, dude. It's really fucking cool. I wasn't aware. I knew that the term Samhain or Samhain, as like 99% of us pronounce it upon.
That's how I always did.
Upon viewing it. But it's Samhain, and it's a Celtic holiday. It's as Irish as St. Patrick's Day. Halloween originated there. So we had nothing to do with it. America had nothing to do with it. But it was a festival that they did at the end of summer, beginning of fall. It was basically the end of the harvest.
Right.
So essentially, I don't know if it landed on any particular day. It was just whatever the farmer's almanac, I don't, obviously they didn't have the almanac back then, but it's like when tides began to change, it was like, okay, we're done harvesting for the season. Summer's over. And basically to them, Samhain was a time where I've heard this term used before in movies, and I don't want to sound too cliche, but they claim that the veil between the dead and the living is the thinnest. So we kind of coexist at the end of summer with the dead. Because of that, the Druids during those days that's where bonfires would start. So we do bonfires in the fall all the time. Okay. Fall's just a good bonfire time.
Right.
We just associate it with fall, but they were doing it as a way to appease the dead.
Okay.
Sometimes animal sacrifices would be done.
Right.
Sometimes certain crops would be burned for the end of the season just to appease the spirits who could potentially be roaming around them.
Right.
Another thing that they did was the bonfires served a second purpose. It was supposed to be to guide wandering souls to the afterlife.
Whoa.
Like if you found the fire, you know when to ascend.
Yeah.
But get this is something I knew a little bit about that stuff just doing research back in the day about not so much the holiday, but I was learning about all this Celtic shit from the Halloween movies.
Okay.
Because Samhain, as Dr. Loomis calls it, is written on the chalkboard in Halloween 2.
Right.
And that piqued my interest because it was like, what is this shit? And then we get into the Cult of Thorn in those movies and the Druids.
Yeah.
And it was like, so there's something to this. And I didn't really do any deep digging, but I learned enough to know that it was a Celtic holiday. I learned the actual pronunciation of Samhain versus Samhain.
Right.
But what I just learned in doing research for this show, the bonfires attracted bats.
What? Okay.
Okay, so bats would come out of the woods or whatever. The bonfires would attract them, almost like moths. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because of that, because people, you didn't just walk around and oh boy, the bats are really fucking crazy tonight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like mosquitoes.
Yeah.
But the bonfires would bring them out, and suddenly bats were now synonymous with Samhain or Halloween.
Okay.
So that's why we have bat decorations and shit.
Okay.
Had nothing to do with, oh, they're just spooky.
Right.
You know, they're creepy flying rodents. It was like, no, these were because bats were attracted to the bonfires during the festival of Samhain. So that was kind of wild to learn.
Okay.
Had no idea. Because, I mean, obviously bats, witches, cats.
Yeah.
We all this shit we take for granted as decorations.
Right.
And I never knew that the bonfires attracting bats is why they incorporated it into Halloween.
Interesting.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Let me see some of the other stuff I learned. Obviously, the Celtic territories, you know, in Ireland and stuff, this was all centuries ago. So there was always war and, you know, certain areas. The Romans, for instance, absorbed a lot of Irish territories during the first century. When they caught wind of Samhain, they, instead of like abolishing it or making it stop, they kind of infused their own beliefs into it and made it kind of like a mega holiday.
Okay.
If you want to take that, it was called, like, I'm probably going to butcher this, but it looks like it was called like Feralia, which is a day to commemorate the passing of the dead and the honoring of Pomona, the Roman goddess of agriculture and abundance. And her symbol is an apple.
Okay.
Which is why we bob for apples. Isn't that wild?
It is.
But it was the same thing. It's funny because it's like the Romans, all this stuff that was considered Wiccan and unchristian and all this, it was like everyone was kind of doing that stuff. They were worshiping these like seasonal deities.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I always thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, it's apparently that's what the Romans attributed to Samhain or contributed to. And then eventually Christianity did spread through Europe with the Crusades.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you're either a Christian or you're a fucking witch.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when Inquisition type stuff started happening and witch trials, and it's scary. It was definitely a terrifying time because anyone could be pointed at
right
as a heretic.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was literally punishable by death.
Right.
And usually not just death, horrific torture. You know, they basically experiment on you with horrific medieval methods.
Yeah.
To either prove or disprove that you're a witch, or to get you to admit it. And, you know, if you're trapped in an Iron Maiden or something, you'll admit to anything.
Right. Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of crazy shit. But when Christianity did spread through Europe in the 4th century, Christians celebrated All Saints' Day, where they paid tribute to the saints and martyrs with bonfires, parades, and costumes. And that basically was called All Hallows.
Okay.
And it was just before what we call Halloween. So now we have All Hallows Eve. Which I thought was kind of fascinating.
That is really cool.
You know, so again, it was even in the realm of Christianity, there were the parades and the honoring of the dead, which is, I'm sure to them was considered pious, but in its own way, kind of macabre.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's that. I mean, that's basically kind of how Halloween was formed as a holiday. It started with the Celtics and Samhain, got a little bit of Roman tradition thrown in, and then eventually Christianity formed it into what we consider it today.
Yeah.
Or to my understanding, rather. Were you aware that the colors orange and black are specific? We know that they're specific to Halloween because Christmas is like green and red.
Right.
Orange and black makes total sense because the orange symbolizes the autumn, the black represents the death of summer.
I knew the autumn part.
I didn't.
Yeah, because it kind of went into that harvest kind of a thing.
It makes sense once you know.
But the black, that's dark, but I mean, it's fucking, it
Yeah.
makes sense though.
Because you're in mourning for summer.
Yeah,
Summer's
exactly.
done. One of the cool things I learned, I did not know the tale of Stingy Jack.
Yeah, I had learned this when I was a kid.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, my dad had told me about it, and it did freak me out. But but as much as it freaked me out, it also kind of charged me up. I kind of,
No kidding.
yeah, because I was like, it's a pretty interesting tale. Like, I want you to, get into your thing. But yeah, I think maybe that moment, that's when I really became fascinated with Halloween.
Sure.
On a much bigger level than most of my friends.
Hmm.
Because it was like costumes, candy.
I know, but now there's mythology.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's what really got me interested in it. And I had asked my dad to tell me the story several times, not even around Halloween, but just throughout the year.
Oh, sure.
Even if it was like, tucking me in, going to bed, it's like I'm, 23 years old, but he's still telling me this story. But, no, seriously, it's like I would always ask him.
I wish my son wasn't such a retard.
Oh, fuck.
I would ask him, tucking me in to tell me the stories because they were genuinely interesting.
Yeah.
So that's why I am hanging on your every word, because I do love finding out why things are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was super cool, even though it was kind of short because I was trying to do it with the day job and everything and trying to compile this list of facts.
Mm-hmm.
I was learning all kinds of cool shit. And I had never heard the story of Stingy Jack.
Okay.
And I did know, however, that turnips were used as quote unquote jack-o'-lanterns
Right.
before pumpkins were.
Mm-hmm.
That much I knew fairly recently, but I
Okay.
didn't know that there was an entire story behind it.
Yes, there is.
And it's so definitely settle in, kids. This is story time. And I'm curious now because knowing your upbringing and the version you were told,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if it differs.
Okay.
So when I'm done, just be like, okay, my version or
Mhm.
my dad's version.
Right.
So basically, Stingy Jack was just a drunk and a manipulator, and he basically ripped people off and was just a boozer who wandered around town and ripped shit off of people. He never worked. He was a mooch, and this is kind of where I feel like the Christianity comes in. He was just the kind of guy Satan liked. He was just like, this dude's kind of the shit. He wants for nothing, but he answers to nobody. He doesn't care. Old, young, man, woman, child. He'll rip you off and he'll go about his day because he gets what he wants. So one day, I guess, or one night, Stingy Jack was walking down a country road at night, and he's a bit sloshed, he's a little bit in the bag, and he sees a body in the road. So he approaches it, and when he turns it over, he's horrified to see Satan smiling at him. And Satan's like, gotcha. So Satan jumps up and he goes, I've been keeping my eye on you, and I need you down in hell. You're just the perfect person for hell. Evil and conniving, and your time is up. And Stingy Jack, even though he was a drunk and an asshole, he wasn't stupid. And he goes, tell you what, Satan, let me go to the pub. One drink, just to say goodbye to this life. Just one quick pint, and I'll let you shovel me loose of this mortal coil. And Satan's like, you know what? Fuck it. Cool. Let's go do it. So Satan throws an arm around Stingy Jack and walks to the nearest pub. He gets his drink. He's taking his drink and he goes, I don't have any money to pay for it, as you probably well know. And Satan's like, of course, you're Stingy Jack. He goes, so what are you going to do? What's going to be your big final prank? And Stingy goes, tell you what, turn yourself into a coin and I'll pay for my drink. And then when the bartender's not looking, you change back and we walk the hell out of here. And Satan's like, hilarious. This is great. Okay. So Satan changes himself into a coin, and Stingy Jack slaps the coin on the counter. That's for my drink, barkeep. Bartender's like, great, takes the coin, and when he's not looking, when he's supposed to turn back into Satan, Stingy Jack grabs the coin and shoves it in his pocket where he is also holding a crucifix. So now Satan is trapped as a coin in his pocket, and he walks out going, I even fooled Satan now. So he keeps him in that state, and Satan is just bitching up a blue streak. He cannot believe this guy ripped him off. And he goes, oh boy, look, I'll do anything if you let me change back. Get me out of this pocket. Get me away from this crucifix. Whatever you want. Jack says, hey, give me 10 more years. I don't want to die. I'm not ready to die yet. He goes, 10 more years are yours. Just get me the fuck out of your pocket. So he does it. Satan turns back into Satan and is like, you little motherfucker. I'll come back in a decade and your ass is grass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stingy Jack's like, yeah, okay, cool. So 10 years goes by. Satan shows up again. And Stingy Jack is like, ah, shit. Okay, forgot about you, buddy. And Satan goes, it's been 10 years to the day. You're going to hell with me. And he goes, if we could, I want to eat something before we go. My stomach is empty. Could you just climb up that tree real quick and grab me an apple? And Satan's like, are you serious? And he goes, I swear to God. And I just want to go to the afterlife with a full belly. That's all I want. Just a quick snack, man. Can you do it for me? And Satan's like, whatever, dude. Fine. And to Jack's credit, Satan's apparently dumb enough to do it because he climbs the tree to pluck an apple, and Stingy Jack lines the entire base of the tree with crucifixes. Now Satan's stuck in the damn tree, and he's like, you son of a bitch. And Stingy's like, hey man, sorry, I'm Stingy Jack. This is what I do. It's kind of my thing, you know. And Satan goes, what do I got to do to get out of this damn tree? And he goes, I just want to be off your list. No more taking me to hell, man. I'm going full 9 now. I'm going to live a long life. And when I die, you don't get shit. And Satan's like, fine. Done. Get me out of this fucking tree.
Yeah.
Stingy Jack lets him out of the tree. I like to think that Satan tossed him the apple like, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
So Satan makes the agreement. Eventually, probably from liver damage, Stingy Jack dies. Goes to heaven. And St. Peter is like, not so fast. You were a bit of a prick your entire life. I've got a whole ledger here of all the crap you've done. You are not a heaven-worthy soul. So your only option is to go to hell.
Yeah.
And he's like, ugh. So he gets shot to hell. So Stingy Jack walks over to, I'm assuming, the gates of hell now, you know, a completely different gate. And Satan leans against the gate and goes, yeah, I can't let you in. And Stingy's like, why? I got kicked out of heaven. I can't even be there. He goes, yeah, see, we made this deal where I wasn't supposed to get your soul way back when. And I'm kind of a man of my word. So, but here is a turnip with a candle in it. That'll help guide you around purgatory because you've got nowhere else to go. And Stingy Jack takes his turnip lantern and is said to roam cemeteries and the countryside with no way to get to either heaven or hell because of the deal he made with the devil. And I guess that tradition of the ember inside the hollow turnip is what led to the jack-o'-lantern, which I had no idea, had no clue. The turnip I knew.
Yeah.
I didn't know the whole story, and that it morphed into something bigger, and that the face that we carve in jack-o'-lanterns is to ward off evil spirits or scare them off.
Right.
So that was the story as I interpreted it when I read it. Was it any different from your dad's?
The only difference is there was way more cursing in my dad's.
I was going to say, profane language aside.
No, that's it.
So it was the same thing, the apple, the pub,
Yes.
coin, all
Yeah,
that
just
shit.
tricking Satan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Were the methods any different?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Because
So-
that seems like that's pretty much the
The gist.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that's an interesting story. It's almost like he's I don't know how far back that story goes. I'm sure it's centuries, but it almost makes a case that Stingy Jack is the first spirit of purgatory. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
he's got nowhere to go. He's
Yeah.
too bad for heaven and sealed his deal with hell.
Mm-hmm.
So he just wanders around with his lantern, which is an eerie thought, you know?
Yeah, and as a child, Stingy Jack scared the fuck out of me.
Really?
Yes. Even though it's a goofy name.
It's a goofy name, and he just sounds kind of like your prankster of folklore.
Right.
He doesn't sound particularly scary like a Rumpelstiltskin.
Until after he died.
Okay.
That, like, because my dad would add his own little flair, you
Okay.
know, just about how my dad would say things like, he's out there watching you
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to get you to do things to join him.
Oh, I see. So he's trying to recruit so he's not alone in purgatory.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah. And it's like, that was fucking terrifying.
That
know?
is scary.
And it was funny because when I would always ask my dad, what does he look like?
Mm-hmm.
The answer he told me was pretty fucking wild. He just said, close your eyes. Like when you're laying in bed, close your eyes and think real hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that image is him. And he is coming for you.
Oh, jeez.
You know, yeah.
So he left it up to you
He
completely.
did. Yeah. And of course this picture that I created in my mind as a young kid, probably, I don't know, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
It's stuck with me to this day.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I've always been really terrified of that story. You know, even though it's a fun tale,
It is a fun tale. I do like it.
I really do appreciate that for sure. You know, because I love the fact how it answers some questions
Mhm.
as to why we do what we do.
For sure.
I think something like this should be taught in school again.
Why not?
Just around the Halloween time, just to energize these kids, get them excited again for the Halloween season, you know?
I don't see why it can't be a spooky holiday again.
Right.
Because now it's all Harvest Day this, Harvest Day that,
Yeah.
which is ironic because in their Christian efforts to remove Halloween from schools, you're going back to Wiccan practices.
Yeah.
It just shows how fucking stupid our world is. Of note, I will say, we got a big laugh out of the fact that I thought it was Stringy Jack.
Oh, shit. I didn't know if you were going to bring this up.
Why the fuck not? Because I am this show's dumbass. I'm glad I caught it before we went on the air and would have had to hear the Brady. You know, it's like, oh fuck, I Mike Brady'd a Halloween episode now. So I caught it early, but it was like, I kept seeing what I thought. I'm reading the screen and I'm like, is it Stringy Jack?
Yeah.
What is this Stringy Jack?
Holy shit.
Why does Stringy Jack sound like, you know, something you do alone? And so what's funny is when I pictured Stringy Jack,
Yeah.
do you remember the quote unquote janitor or groundskeeper in the Harry Potter movies?
Yes.
That creepy old man with
Yeah.
the stringy long
Yeah.
hair. That's kind of what I pictured.
I get it.
And some of the old renderings and drawings of them weren't too far off from.
They're not. They're
You know.
not. But it's funny because when you said it, it registered, but not enough to go, oh no, dude, you're wrong. Alls I did was go, well, maybe there's another one.
Well, that was the other thing, and unfortunately, I didn't write them down. The name of that character goes under a lot of different names, apparently.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's cultural.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was no Stringy Jack.
Well, yeah, it's funny. I said, "Oh, that's crazy. He's always been referred to as Stingy Jack," and I was like, "Just Google it." And you're like, oh, "Okay," and you Google it, and you didn't go like, "Well, son of a bitch," you just started laughing so fucking hard. And I was like, here we go.
I went, well, that's par for the course. Stingy. And the funny thing is, me personally, growing up, stingy always meant greedy. And I wasn't thinking of it in terms of a prankster or a con artist. Stingy to me was like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm penny pinching and not letting you have anything.
Right.
So I think I pictured as a Stingy Jack, someone a little more regal and conservative and like, I wouldn't let these children eat,
Yeah.
with my money. Oh, Hufflepuff, which is what they said back then, of course.
Okay, good.
But Stringy Jack just sounded more insidious and greasy and gross and closer to what I thought the story represented.
Yeah.
So it made sense, but it truly is.
So then did you ever
Stingy Jack?
did you ever find out why we get candy and all that stuff?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. They claim apparently the origin of trick-or-treating is debated.
Okay.
Okay, because there's a few different things. One of them is some believe it was leaving food or treats for the spirits that are traveling the earth. Okay? So if you didn't want your house to be haunted, or you didn't want a poltergeist to come in and fuck up your shit, you left treats out on the porch as an offering to the dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's one theory. One says it's born from a German-American tradition called Belsnickeling, okay?
Okay.
Which is apparently during Christmas. This is like a cross-holiday thing.
Okay.
This is a Christmas tradition in the German-American culture. And it's a game that they would play where kids would dress in costumes and see who among the adults could figure out which kid was behind the disguise. If they were wrong and said, pointed at you and said, that's Jace, and you took the ghost mask off or something and it's Brad, you would win all the candy and the treats. So that's kind of where the costuming thing came in.
Okay.
You're trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
And you were rewarded for having such a good costume.
Yeah.
That you fooled the adults. And then finally, let me see here. There was a time during the Middle Ages, they claim, where kids and possibly poor people would go door to door asking for food or candy as a offering of prayer to the dead.
Okay.
So when you put those amalgams together, you get food or treats for spirits of the dead who would come to your door to ward them off. You have kids who are sort of begging, I suppose,
Right.
to appease the dead again.
Okay.
And then lastly, the costumes, which was a Christmas tradition in German America. You put all that shit together, and that's how they kind of formed trick-or-treating.
Got it.
Someone took like an amalgam of all these
Yeah.
traditions, and it was like, okay, well, you dress up scary and go to a stranger's house demanding trick-or-treat.
That's crazy. So it started kind of around Christmas?
The costume portion, anyway.
That's crazy.
And that's a German thing, a German-American thing. And it makes sense, too, going back to the Celtic stuff, because you're supposed to kind of be representing the dead.
Mm-hmm.
So your costume's supposed to be scary.
Right.
So it's not just, Sally dressed up as Raggedy Ann, and I didn't recognize her, so she gets all the candy.
Yeah.
That's where some of the cultural influence seeps in, because you were dressing up as something terrifying.
Right.
Because back then it was a threat.
Wow.
If you don't give me a treat, I'm going to wreak havoc on your house.
Yeah.
That was the fear that was put into people who left stuff out on the porch for the dead. So it's all very grim, but this sort of jolly game from Christmas is what kind of threw the costume portion into it,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is pretty fucking rad.
It's super fucking cool.
Now, what I also didn't know when I was kind of investigating the whole trick-or-treating thing,
Uh-huh.
we didn't adapt trick-or-treating until the 20s,
Okay.
which means Halloween in America is only about 100 years old, if you think about it.
Well, that's crazy.
We're like within the century that
Yeah.
Halloween even started being a thing here. And they said that by the 50s, trick-or-treating and Halloween had gotten so big and so commercialized, so mainstream even,
Uh-huh.
that stores would start putting out costumes and candy. You know, it was kind of like a little something that people were doing from the 20s on up.
Right.
But by the 50s, it was like, no, this is a full-blown thing. We can make money off of it. We can sell costumes and candy and games and all this shit.
That's crazy.
And they said even in the 50s, the first time in 1958, Mammy Eisenhower decorated the White House.
Oh, really?
First time ever. 1958. So the White House didn't even acknowledge Halloween until a year after my dad was born.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So Halloween, as we know it, all things considered, is fairly recent in America.
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about it. Yes,
Right.
yes, it's a century old, but our parents were born during a time when it was like, now it's fun.
Yeah.
Now everybody's doing it. And to think that our grandparents or great-grandparents, they really didn't fuck with that. It was a little before their time, or after their time, rather. It's just kind of fascinating to me because it's like, wow, you know, we were born in the 70s and 80s. We were right after, really,
Mm-hmm.
when all this shit was kind of being popularized.
Yeah.
So I never thought, I mean, to me, I just thought trick-or-treating and all that was something that went back ages and ages and ages. And it's
Mhm.
like, no, it was in our parents' lifetime.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It seems like it's just been going on forever.
Yeah, I just took it as, you know, the same as Christmas. Like the first Christmas is supposed to be like December 25th, 0.
Yeah.
You associate this stuff with medieval culture and history and all that. And it's like,
Absolutely.
no, man, we didn't turn it into a Macy's thing until
that's
the damn 50s, you know.
that's wild.
And by then it was like, now you could go out as an astronaut or a cowboy,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. You know, you didn't have to be scary. But I always prefer to be something scary.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unless I'm Batman.
There you
then
go.
I'm just fucking cool.
Obviously. Come on. The fuck you thinking? You're always Batman. Which it's hard to sit here and take you serious and you're wearing that fucking cowl right now. But
Sorry.
no, don't take it off. Don't take it off. Don't take it off. That's
Oh.
all. That's the only clothes you have on.
Okay.
That's cool.
Cool shit.
It is cool shit. I mean, it's just another reason why I love Halloween.
Yeah, it's rich history, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Really fucking cool stuff.
No, it absolutely is. I wonder why has there ever been like a Stingy Jack movie?
To my knowledge, no. Not that I'm aware
That's
of.
crazy. It seems like that would have been done.
There's
you know?
probably a cool way to do it.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I'm actually surprised, frankly, and this is going to sound funny, but the Trick or Treat movie from 2007
Yeah.
incorporates so much lore into their stories and into the vignettes that are in that film. I'm surprised Stingy hit it. Stingy Jack. I'm surprised some amalgam of him wasn't represented in that movie.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what? It wasn't even the Stringy Jack. It was the hit it. I fucking love you. So good. Hit it. I mean, my finger was like in route. It was just like as soon as my finger hit it.
Yep.
A Stringy Jack. Oh, fuck.
Maybe that's why no one knows what to call him. Maybe it's not me at all. No, there's so much going on in that film that's Halloween related, lore wise and everything. You're keeping the jack-o'-lantern lit all
Yeah.
night and all this. I'm surprised Stingy Jack wasn't represented somehow.
Mhm.
You know, even
Yeah.
as an Easter egg.
Right.
So
So that would have been,
That would have been cool.
but Easter's a different holiday.
Totally different holiday.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what? This has been a really interesting show because I know we've been wanting to do this for a long time, you know, and you did exactly what I knew you were going to do. Come through with some fucking really cool
And to be honest, that was
points.
under kind of a shit situation because it was like I'm trying to research this while I'm working, and you know, everything we did on this trip was so frantic.
And it doesn't suffer.
No, but at the same time, I feel like this was like barely scratching the surface.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think this should be like an ongoing thing that we do with just a little more history. Because like,
Sure.
you know, I think the next time would be cool to get into is like a real deep dive on just the costumes and the decorations from like the decades, you know.
Of course.
Especially now that we know we can pretty much start like around the 30s. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't go back that far.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because there are certain pictures that I've seen that are like, holy shit, these are scary.
These kids look like little leather faces.
Yes,
you know,
like the ones where
terrifying.
they're sitting in a classroom.
Yes.
It's like a black and white photo, and they're all arms folded, looking in one direction, and they got these terrifying, almost like gauze masks.
Yes.
You know, or burlap that are painted. You know, and they have these shapes of the faces on them. They're fucking way more terrifying than anything that's in any Halloween store today.
Of course. And the thing is, like, we grew up in a time, one of my earliest Halloween pictures, I'm dressed as fucking Skeletor. It's just a plastic mask and plastic outfit.
Like the Ben Cooper.
Yeah, the Ben Cooper
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like, if I saw a group of kids coming at me the way they looked in the 30s and shit,
Yeah.
I'd have been like, fuck that.
Right.
Going in the other direction, you know, because they just look, like I said, they look like a bunch of little leather faces, man.
Right.
Everything looks distorted and weird and creepy, and yeah, Halloween would have been interesting in those days.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely.
Them old horse and buggy days, you know, it's like,
I'm so intrigued by that era.
me too.
Mainly dealing in Halloween.
For sure.
You know.
Because now I feel like we're in the era of, you know, obviously not the 30s, but your Ichabod Crane
Right.
stories.
I was
and
getting
stuff
ready
like
to go
that.
right there. It's like, I feel like that's a perfect, you know, scenario, or that's a perfect, what you call it?
Kind of like a window,
Yeah.
you know? It's
Yeah.
like, it's folk horror. It's old folk horror.
Yeah.
And there's something about those old traditions and old sceneries and stuff like that that's interesting but unnerving.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to live there.
For sure.
But-
no, I agree. I totally agree.
What you should do sometime, and I think I've mentioned it in another show, one thing we do have in Michigan is Greenfield Village,
Okay.
which is attached to the Henry Ford Museum. And this is the village where we've got like Abraham Lincoln's house,
Okay.
Thomas Edison's lab, you know, like real shit that's
Right.
been preserved. During the Halloween season, you literally feel like you're walking through Sleepy Hollow.
Oh my God. Yeah, I do remember you saying this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, if only you could see that, you know, it's like, yikes.
Right. What's it
It
called again, you said?
Greenfield Village.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to check that out.
And if you do like a Google image of like Greenfield Village, Michigan, Halloween,
Yeah.
it's like you get to walk around during that era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like it.
For sure. How far is that from you?
About 45 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's cool. It's
Yeah,
far
it's
at all.
not bad. We go there quite a bit.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even during the summer, you just go for the history. You feel like you're in a Back to the Future movie.
Oh, fuck. That's
Because all the houses and there's like a train station. All this stuff is ancient.
Really?
Ancient. So you're getting to walk through these places that haven't been inhabited
Yeah. I get it.
in a real sense in centuries.
Right.
And you know, it's cool. I remember as a kid just thinking, I'm Marty. I'm walking around old timey whatever
Hill Valley.
Hill Valley. Yeah, and it's just that was kind of the cool thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
But for the holidays, Halloween and Christmas, they do it up, man. But Halloween, obviously for us, the entire path, both sides,
Mm-hmm.
lined with hand carved jack-o'-lanterns.
So cool.
So we're talking thousands.
Mm-hmm.
There is a headless horseman that rides around. There is a covered bridge you have to cross.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean
Wow.
it's really cool. It's
Yeah.
it's cool in a very calm, creepy way.
Yeah, no, I'm reading, like, Own It right now. So they do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
For sure. That would be fun to...
I think you would just. I picture you walking through just snapping photos, dude.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it's amazing to look at.
Yeah. So kind of rounding back to the Stingy Jack thing.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been like a time where Halloween, when you were a kid, was kind of threatened to like not happen?
No.
No.
Especially
Especially the way it is, like, you know, not even so much today, because I'll be honest with you, here the last couple of seasons, it's been kind of nice to almost return back to the old ways.
Sure.
But there was a time, especially during COVID, where they were like, Halloween's canceled.
No, nobody's ever come close to cancel Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Schools are like, it's Harvest Day, you know, because I don't know, they're pussifying our kids.
Mm-hmm.
But the closest I came to being like, is this a dead holiday? There was a good swath of maybe 2 or 3 years where we barely saw any kids out at all. Like in a night, we probably threw candy to like a dozen kids.
Wow.
And the thing is, I also say this knowing full well that it is Michigan. Sometimes Halloween, we have snow.
Okay.
Sometimes it's bitterly cold, or it's bitterly cold and raining. And it's just, costumes kind of suck when you got to bundle up too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never liked being Batman in a winter jacket,
Right.
you know, but it was like you had to because it was cold out. So yeah, but there's a mixture of that, and then there's the mixture of the kids today who are like, why would I go trick-or-treating? Mom can buy me candy and I can keep playing the Game Boy or whatever the fuck your nose is in, the tablet. And I just felt like interest had died so much that Halloween in Michigan was just dead.
Jeez.
At least in my part of town.
Right.
Last 2-3 years, not only has the neighborhood been jumping,
Okay.
but more and more people are putting out decorations and setting up scares and stuff like that. Like we walk around the neighborhood, there's one guy, he's in the neighborhood next to ours. Like where our house is,
Yeah.
literally one street over, if you go behind the houses that are kind of kitty corner to us, that's already a new neighborhood. So we're like on the cusp of our neighborhood. You go over a street, and this guy, he has the 20-foot skeleton.
Okay.
He has like a 20-foot werewolf. His backyard is decorated all the way around the house. Lights top to bottom. Cauldrons with dry ice. I mean, this guy, you walk past his house and you're like, where is all this shit? There's no way you could put this in your house
Yeah.
when you're done. Like,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So he does it up really well. There's a guy near the end of our street who, it's pretty damn funny. He's in a big gorilla outfit and he's behind bars. And when kids come up, he's able to rip the door off the bars and charge at them.
Yeah.
And it's like kids scream and run, and it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, at least the last couple years, I've walked around with my kids and looked around and been like, this is the shit. This is like when I was a kid, man. Because you could be walking and you could hear kids giggling and screaming from blocks away. And I'm like, it hasn't been like this since I was little.
Fuck. That's
so, I
awesome.
mean, maybe it's on a comeback. But
I hope so, man.
But there was a period, man, where I was like, might as well just turn the porch light off because nobody's out. You know what I mean? And it stung.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just another thing my kids were being denied. You know, and even if we did go out, which we did, you know, obviously I took both kids out. Not many people were participating in giving out candy.
Right.
A lot of dark porches, you know. So I always felt bad. I'm like, my kids are never going to see Halloween the way I did, but they've been able to lately.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now this is fucking rad.
Right.
And it's to a point now where last year, I think it was, we were in like the high 60s, low 70s, which is downright tropical for Halloween.
Yeah.
And my kids were like, let's go over another street. Hey, can we go this way? Can we go that way? And they were like into it.
Yeah.
And I'm like all about it, dude. I'm like, yes, let's
Yeah.
fucking do this. You know what I mean? So Halloween, it even excited me again. As a
God,
parent.
that's so good to hear.
It was. And I hope that momentum keeps up. I really do. Because, yeah, it was touch and go for a minute where I was like, okay, well,
No, yeah.
nobody cares,
Damn.
you know?
Hell yeah.
So I tried to supplement it by just being like, well, then we'll just stay in and watch scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Which is equally just as fun on Halloween.
It is
you know?
fun,
But I
you
mean,
know.
there's nothing like, just hitting the streets and just the sounds and the smells and you
Exactly.
know, the whole thing. That's
to
key.
me, that's Halloween.
It is.
And then you
Halloween.
can come home and eat your candy while watching the
Exactly. That's what I told you. Like we usually would do like, a whole bunch of fast food and just, throw it on the table and the kids would just dump all their candy into a pile and just go through it while movies are playing in the background.
Yeah.
It's the perfect day.
Yeah.
It really is. So no, I'm glad you brought this topic up. For the Halloween.
This one's been gestating for a minute.
Yeah.
And we can keep doing more Halloween lore and
Hell yeah.
stuff
Absolutely. Because I would love to touch on some of the costumes and decorations over the decades.
like that. For sure.
So maybe next time we can do that.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. All right, man. Thank you for doing that.
Yes. Happy Halloween, Brad.
Happy Halloween, Jace. Until next time.
See you guys.